We have got another 30-minute Pilates workout specific for runners today. So grab your mat and we're actually going to start seated for this one. As always, I just want to caveat, if you've got any injuries or any niggles or anything that doesn't feel right, please make sure to adapt as necessary, take breaks, have water around, and yeah, adapt to what feels good for you. Definitely don't push through any injuries or niggles. So with that out the way, we're going to start sitting down, lifting up nice and tall. As I always say, if you've got tight hips as a runner, even just sitting like this might feel slightly uncomfortable. If it does, go grab a block or something that you can just pop just slightly underneath your bum, just so we can lift up out of those hips. But we're just going to start with some stretches here. So lifting up nice and tall, start with, I want you to draw the abdominals in towards that spine. And we're just going to inhale and exhale, lifting up nice and tall. Good. And again. Keep the shoulders relaxed, calming the central nervous system. And exhale. Now we're going to add a side bend. So we're going to bring that left arm over. We're going to exhale as we reach to one side, keeping this arm right near the ear, so we're opening out through the chest. Inhale as we come back through the center, and exhale over to the other side. Good. Back up and over again. Once more each side. And back up. Last one. Really reach, stretch out the side of our body, which we don't tend to do too much. And back through the center. Now I want you to take that left arm over that right knee, the right arm towards that wall, and we're just going to reach and look back over that shoulder. Exhale on that twist, stretching out through the thoracic spine. And then back through the center, over towards the other side. Really reaching over the shoulder. Good, we're just going to do one more each side. And then back through. And back through the center. And then finally, I just want you to walk those hands forward. And you should just feel, I was going to say a nice stretch, but it's not a nice stretch. Through the hips here. Obviously, the further you can go with what works for you. I am very tight, so I can feel this here. And I just want you to sit into the stretch. Inhale and exhale. Perhaps on each exhale, you can just walk the hands a bit further forward. Maybe your head's on the floor. I don't know how flexible you are. But let's just sit into that stretch for a few seconds before we start. And then walk those hands back in. And we're going to stay on our bums, but I want you to switch around to the side. Feet are flat on the floor and our knees are up to the ceiling, and we're sitting up really nice and tall, and we're just going to hold on lightly to the backs of our thighs, and we're going to take a nice C curve. So shoulders are down, we're scooping the stomach muscles to the spine, and we're just rounding as we inhale, scoop, working those core muscles. Just go back as far as you can control, and then sitting up really nice and tall in between each one. Good. And we take it back. Keeping the knees up towards the ceiling. Sitting up really nice and tall in between each one, lifting up out those sit bones. Good. And lifting up. See if you can go a tiny bit further. See how much control we've got. and back up. This time we're going to add an arm. So we're going to rotate over to one side. We're going to take one arm back, looking over our shoulder. Perhaps you can't go quite as far back as we do this. We want to keep the control. So this definitely makes it a bit more challenging. So maybe just don't go back quite as far for this one. We reach, keep squeezing. We've got one hand holding on to our other leg to kind of give us a little bit more stability here. Good, we're going to go for one more each side. Again, test yourself, reach, and back up. Last one. And back through the center, stretching those legs out, lifting up tall, and we're going to do a roll down to bring us down to the mat. One vertebrae at a time, really nice and controlled, rolling through the spine, and then just bring both knees up towards the chest and just gently rock from side to side to massage that lower spine. And then we're going to drop the feet down to the floor and the knees are going up to the ceiling. And we're going to take the hands back behind the head with the elbows right out to the side. So as we peel up our head, neck and shoulders, we're going to bring the right leg up into a tabletop position. So we're peeling up and then extend the right leg, making sure those elbows are right out to the side. Bring the leg back and back down. And again, we lift up, same leg, exhale as we reach. Lengthen that leg, keep squeezing the stomach muscles into the spine, and back down. Good. Keep the elbows right out to the side. I'll keep reminding you. And lift up. Keeping the leg here now, it needs to drop the head back down. We're going to bring the left elbow towards that knee that is up. So we're going to add a rotation. So we're going to reach and back down. Good. Exhale as we come up. We've got two more here. Last one. And bring it all back down. Just take a second to reset, and then we're going to go straight over on to the other leg. So we're lifting the head, neck and shoulders and the left leg up, straight up to the center. Exhale as we come up. Extend that leg back flat on the floor. Bring it back in. And inhale, back down. Good. Exhale to come up. And extend. Inhale. And down. Good. Reach. Two more here. And this is the last one where we're going to leave the leg up after we extend back into that tabletop, leave the leg there, head back down, and then we're driving that right elbow towards that left knee. So we exhale, twist, keep the knee where it is just the upper body reaching towards the knee. We don't want to drive the knee to the elbow, it's the elbow towards the knee. Good. Exhale. As we come up, we have got three more here. Last two. And last one. And coming all the way back down. Bring the arms round and just hug the knees. Gently rock from side to side. Massage the lower spine and then take hold of that right knee. Extend the left and drive up towards that knee. We're going to do a little pull, so I want you to do 2 pulls of the knee towards the chest, not too hard, and then switch. So we've got a bit of a stretch, so we go pull, pull, and switch. Pull, pull, and switch. Good. Breathe. Keeping the lower back flat onto the mat. Last one. And relax. Hug the knees to the chest. I just want you to take the knees over to the left side. Extend that right arm, looking over that shoulder. Exhale. And then breathe in, back through the center again. Knees over to the right and then look over that left shoulder. So we get a nice stretch through the spine and our glutes. And then back through the center. And we're going to roll onto our side. We're going to have our head in our hand for this one. And we're going to, we're going to be on our forearm for this one. And we're going to have our feet in line with our bum and our knees bent forwards. And the really important thing here is that we're going to have our hips stacked straight on top of each other. And then I want you to stretch that right leg out slightly in front so it's at an angle here. And we're just going to take that knee, that toe down to the floor and lift back up. What we need to do is lift up out of this shoulder, so resist the urge to drop into that. We're lifting up nice and tall. And we're just lifting that leg up and down at an angle. Good. We're working through these obliques as well. We're just lifting everything, pressing up from the floor. Good. And that leg is lifting and lowering. Don't worry, it won't go very high. Last 3, 2, 1, and return that leg back in. The toes are going to come together and then the knees are going to come together on this next one. So we open up that hip, but again, we are not rotating right around. We're keeping the hips stacked. We're taking that knee out to the side, feet together, knees go together. And we switch. Good. Toe to toe, knee to knee. Lifting up out of our obliques. This feels really nice on that hip joint as well. Not so nice on the glute, that's working. But it is a nice mobility exercise as well. Good, last 2. And then knee down. We're going to go straight into our clams. So we take that knee out to the side and back in. Good. If you want to make this more challenging, you can also do it with the feet lifted in the air and you really feel it in that glute working more. I'm going to go for this variation today, but really focus on not letting that hip rotate around, as I've said. And again, just lifting out the shoulder. I'll keep reminding you, however annoying it may get. And we just take that knee out to the side. You should start to feed it down this glute med. Breathe through it. Holding out on this next one. And then we're going to go for some half pulses. So everything nice and tight. Keep the control. Breathe. Good. Last 5 seconds. Last 3, 2, and relax that leg back down. Just shuffle the thighs and legs, feet a bit further back, and we're going to go into some bent leg side raises. So we're just going to lift up, reach that arm over, make sure that elbow is right underneath the shoulder, and back down. Good, really sending those obliques right up towards the ceiling. We've got 2 more here. Last one. And relax back down. Coming back onto our spine. Before we go on to the other side, we're just going to go into a nice tabletop position and into our 100 practice. So hands by the side, shoulders down on the mat. Shoulders not down on the mat, sorry. Spine down on the mat. We're going to lift the head, neck and shoulders off the mat. And we are pulsing the arms. Inhale and exhale. Good, making sure we're breathing. Squeezing the stomach muscles towards the spine. Last 10 seconds. Good, if we stretch the legs for the last 5. Breathe. Last 2. And relax. Hug those knees to the chest. And then just gently rock from side to side. Massage the lower spine. And then we are going to go over on to the other side. So just spin yourself round. We're up on our forearm. And again, just take your time getting into this position. So we want the knees bent out in front of us, the feet in line with the bum, elbow underneath that shoulder, and we are lifting up out of that arm, working those obliques the whole time. And that left leg is bent out, not bent out, it's straight out in front of us. At an angle, and we are just lifting and lowering. Good. Making sure we are breathing. Again, just lifting up out of the shoulder. Core nice and tight. Good. Breathe. Lifting up. Lengthen that leg away. So everything is nice and elongated. Core nice and tight. We've got 3 more here. Last 2. And lower that leg back down. Bring that knee back in. Feet to feet, knees to knees for this next one. So take that knee up towards the ceiling. Feet to feet, knee to knee, getting in to that glute. And mobilising that hip. Good. Remembering to breathe. Squeeze, lift up out the shoulder. Good. Keep going with this. Again, you can also make this more challenging by lifting the feet. That is totally up to you. We have got 1 more, and then relax back down, then straight into our clams. So that knee is going up towards the ceiling, keeping those hips stacked. Again, we are lifting out of the shoulder, and if you want to make it slightly more challenging, or a lot more challenging, we can do it with the feet raised as well. That is totally up to you. Good. Definitely feel the glutes kicking in now. Good, few more here, and then we're going to go into our half pulses. Hold it up, and then half pulse. Breathe, breathe into it. Good. Last 3. 2, 1, and relax that leg back down. Slide the feet and the legs back slightly, and we're going to go into our side bend. So again, just really make sure that that elbow is underneath the shoulder, and we lift up and reach, driving the hip towards the ceiling, and back down. Good. And down. Three more here. Last 2. And last one. and relax back down. We're going to turn onto our front, and I just want you to send the bum back towards the heels, take the knees nice and wide, and just walk those hands forward. Take a big inhale and exhale, and just stretch into those hips. Like again, if you want to move side to side just to feel a bit more into the hips, that is absolutely fine. And then we're going to come up onto our hands and knees. So our hands are directly underneath our shoulders and our knees directly underneath our hips, and we want a nice flat neutral spine here, and we're going to just take that left leg back behind us. Okay, so we're going to lift the leg, control it back down, keeping the hip bones facing the mat, core nice and tight, not letting that back arch. Good. Now we're going to add a bit of core. So we lift the leg, drop it back down, but tuck that toe under as we do that, and then we're going to drive the underneath knee up towards our chest and press the floor away. So we come up and back down and lift. Good. Press up and lift the leg. We've got 3 more of these. Nice and controlled, don't rush through these. Last one. Lift the leg, and then from here we are pulsing. Good. Core tight. You might need to just readjust yourself if you've walked yourself a bit further forward. Good. Last 3, 2, and return that leg back in. Drop the head and arch the spine. Chest up towards the wall, or wherever you are. 1 more each way. And then coming back to a nice neutral spine. We're going over on the other side, so again, just adjust yourself, try and get those knees underneath the hips, hands underneath the shoulders. It definitely helps if you have got a mirror nearby to see what position you're in, but just try your best. So that right leg is going out behind us, hip bone facing the mat, and to start with, we are just doing our lift and lower. Good, core really nice and tight. Good. Squeeze the lower abdominals. Lengthen. We've got 2 more here. And then we're going to add our lift. So toes under, drive that knee up towards the chest, press the floor away, drop back down, soften the foot. Obviously, if this is too much as well, just stay with the leg lifts without adding the core element to it as well. Good. We have got 3 more here. Nice and controlled. Keep those hip bones facing the mat. Last 2. Last 1. And soften that foot, lift back up. And from here we are pulsing, neck in line with the spine. Breathe. Last 3, 2, and return that leg back in. Send the bum back to the heels, walk the hands forward. Just give the wrists a bit of a rest. Maybe give them a few circles if they feel tight. It's quite a lot of pressure. to put on them. And then back up onto all fours. We're actually going to come onto our forearms just to relieve your wrists if they are feeling tight. But feel free to take a few stretches here in between if they do feel it after that. So we're coming down onto our forearms, nice flat back again, and a core nice and tight. And we're going to go straight back with that left leg. So that left leg is going to kick up behind us. We're not arching that back, we don't want to drop, we want to keep everything nice and supported, and then return back in. So we extend and bring it back in. Good. Core tight. Good. We're going to hold it up on this next one. And again, just take little pulses. Keep squeezing that core so that back is nice and flat. Good. Last 3, 2, 1, and return that leg back in. Once again, send the bum back to the heels and walk those hands forward. This is very glute heavy, so I hope we're all feeling good. Feeling okay, we are nearly towards the end of this workout now, so stay nice and strong with me. Back up onto our forearms, and we're going to go straight over with the right leg. So we kick it back, extend, really lengthen that leg, and draw it back in. Core really nice and tight. Good. Breathe. Good. Lengthen that leg away. We're going to hold at the top, and then we're going to pulse. Core tight. Keeping that back nice and flat. Last 3, 2, 1. And return that leg back in. Coming back up onto all fours. Last exercises here. We're going to press it back into some plank and side plank variations. If a side plank is too much for you, that is absolutely fine. Just stay with your full plank. Drop to your knees whenever you need a break in between. But we're going to step it back into our full plank. And then I want you to rotate around towards the side. Take that left arm up towards the ceiling. Nice and controlled, back through the centre, over towards the other side, making sure that underneath hip is nice and lifted. We're not dropping down in between. Rotate, good. We've got one more on this side. And then back through the centre, drop the knees nice and wide, walk those hands forward and just sit back into that stretch. Good work. That is another class done. Breathing in and exhale. Walking the hands back in. We're going to come up onto our knees, just finished with a bit of a hip flexor stretch. So take one knee up. I want you to tilt that pelvis under and squeeze this glute here. Press forward if you just need a bit more of a stretch. Again, you might be very flexible and you can go a lot further into it. Just go with whatever feels best for you within your range. Breathe into that stretch. And then we're going to switch over. Obviously these are only 30 minutes long, so please feel free to take much longer on your kind of cool down or stretch element. This is just so we can fit it in the time and get the most out of the workout within the 30 minutes. But breathe, feel that stretch, maybe lean forward ever so slightly. and then bring yourself to standing when you are ready. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for doing that workout with me, and I will hopefully see you on another one soon.